Hey everybody, Ian Campbell here, CEO of Mission Suite. Hope you're doing well. This is no longer my live video challenge, but I'm still out here recording videos. Unfortunately, the electricity in my garage is still off right now for some reason. I have no idea why, and I'm trying to figure that out. But in the meantime, I am here in my office in the house. You can see the guitars hanging from the walls there. So yeah, get to kind of just hang out here for a little while. So hopefully we'll have the garage back up and running by next week, so that I can actually start, getting some better lighting and everything like that. I mean, this is all top lighting, and and I've learned over the course of the past 20 days that top lighting is not good. It does not make you look good. So anyway. Today, actually, I was having lunch with a friend of mine, an associate, ironically enough, a video production specialist, and she and I were talking about some of her systems and some of the things that she's got going on. We were talking about ways that we can connect with each other with business and network and all that good stuff, all the things that you do during a networking lunch, right? But we were also talking a little bit about some of the systems that she's running. And she was telling me, she's like, Ian, you know what? Right now, I've got systems in place. I know how to use them. I've put the time in to actually get the job done, figure out what's going on. And, when it comes down to it, I can't do another change right now. So maybe in a few months, but we'll talk more about maybe transitioning into Mission Suite. But for right now, I'm just gonna use what I have. So I said, okay, that's fine. No big deal. I'm loath to make anybody change anything that they don't want to change. But then she started telling me about her follow-up process and some of her sales stuff that she was doing, and kind of moving through what she would add contacts into one system and then add them into another system and then tag them in such a way that it got sent, that an email was sent out through MailChimp, and that this happened over here and whatnot. But it was all being done manually, right? And so she would, go to a networking event, follow up with 20 people, and then, add them to 2 different lists, and then have to do all of this manually. And so I started telling him, like, listen, there's ways that you can get around this, that you can enter them into one system one time, and it'll automatically bring everybody else into where they need to be, right? And so, of course, this was intriguing, right? And whether or not she's, obviously, it all takes bandwidth. So, whether or not there's the bandwidth to get it done, I don't know, and I'm not, trying to press anything, but. What I wanted to talk about was a tool called Zapier, because for those, if you're not using Mission Suite or something that is all built into one system, if you're using something else, if you're using multiple different systems, you still want to be able to talk to each other, and not just talk to each other like, okay, I can see that an email was sent out when I'm looking at Salesforce, right? You want them to truly be able to talk to each other. You want to be able to enter data in one place, have it end up in multiple places, and have it automatically trigger your follow-ups, right? So to have it automatically send out a follow-up email, have it automatically trigger a phone call follow-up, all those different things, you want that to be done automatically one way or another. And even if you're not using a system like Mission Suite that brings it all together, and obviously by now exactly how important I think it is to make sure that gets done, but even if you're not using a system like that, that can bring it all together, this tool, Zapier, which is a freemium tool, so it's free for up to 5 zaps, and there's specific things that you can do inside of the free. Obviously, it's limited free, and then you pay for the next parts. But this tool, Zapier, is a spectacular tool for that, because let's say you're using Google Contacts, right? And so all of your new contacts go into Google. And so Google talks to Zapier. So Google finds a new contact, and automatically sends that new contact into Zapier. Zapier then talks to, let's say, Pipedrive. So Zapier talks to Pipedrive and says, hey, Pipedrive, you've got a new contact for you, and drops all of that contact information into Pipedrive right there for you, right? And because you can create custom fields in the Google contacts, you can also tag it in specific ways, so that if it's tagged with a phone call follow-up in 3 days, then you can have Pipedrive, and Zapier can tell Pipedrive, oh, and by the way, for this specific contact, create a phone call follow-up in 3 days. So you've got, so again, entering contact into one system and then pushing it into your into a CRM or some sort of a database manager. But then what about the automated follow-up? What about the email, right? So okay, let's just say we're using MailChimp, right? So again, the Google contact, you add the contact to Google. It sends it to Zapier. Zapier sends it to Pipedrive. Zapier can also send it to MailChimp. And so again, Zapier said, because it's tagged in the right way, Zapier's saying, okay, so I see that this is tagged as a, as having talked about getting together again, right? So I'm going to put it into this list, and this list is automatically set up to automatically send out an email, inviting that person to get coffee. Or we didn't talk about it together, or maybe it's just hey, great to meet you, gentle blow off kind of a thing. And those are the three follow up automated follow ups that I put into place anyway. So you've got this. You're putting your data into, you're putting your contact into one system, Google Contacts, and then Google is sending it to Zapier. Zapier is sending it to both Pipedrive and MailChimp. And again, using kind of these super inexpensive kind of basic tools, you can use this and actually put these things into place. So if you're not at a point where you can go to Mission Suite, or you can kind of start using a system like Mission Suite yet, maybe again, I mean, there's a million different reasons, right? I mean, in her case, it was just the fact that it was, there was too much change going on, there was too much happening, and it was more important for that to stay constant, which is perfectly understandable. Maybe you've got maybe you have your one salesperson with a corporate headquarters, and corporate's not going to let you kind of do, make changes or change systems. Sure. Now you can set these up. Now, the cautionary tale is that it's a pain in the butt, because you've got to, first of all, you got to set these things up, but then also on top of that, you've got to actually set those things. You've got to make sure that you're staying on top of them, so that it's consistent, and that it's continually making those sending the information from one system to the next, to the next, to the next, right? And that's ultimately the reason why you want to be you're better off using a system like Mission Suite that can pull all these things together than you are using three different systems like these Google and MailChimp and Pipedrive and whatnot. I mean, again, they all work, they all do the job, but because they can't do it all together, there's a lot more risk for breakpoints there. So, and that can be dangerous. And Audrey, how you doing? I saw that you just joined. Thanks so much for joining. I'm actually just wrapping up here, but the main idea here is that is the point that I'm trying to make is make sure that even if you're not using Mission Suite, and I mean, I can't imagine a reason why you wouldn't be, but even if you're not using Mission Suite, make sure you're doing something. Make sure you're automating in some way, because starting to get in the habit of automating is going to help you huge in the future. It's going to make a huge impact, because again, you're going to save yourself a whole lot of time. Because we have a revenue calculator, revenue impact calculator on our website that I'll link to here in the notes, and so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But you can actually save yourself a lot of time and potentially make yourself a lot more money. So whatever you're doing, even if you can't use a system like Mission Suite, set up automation, because it's gonna make all the difference in the world. So with that, once again, I'm doing these Tuesdays and Thursdays. Today was a little bit later than I expected it to be, but that's I ended up in back-to-back meetings all day. So I hope you had a great Thursday, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will look forward to seeing you again on Tuesday. All right, have a good night.